Reloading Bench back with you once again. And I hear the helicopter outside, so that must mean someone is breaking quarantine or their shelter in place order, and the authorities are hunting them down of the day now simply because. This has nothing to do with reloading, at least on the initial front of what this is. Maybe I'll use it for some aspect within my reloading. I found this online when I was poking around, and it's a wire bender. And I thought my son has done some motherboard level repairs and some wiring, and I've done some stuff too with soldering and dealing with wires. And when I saw this, I thought, how cool is that? A little device, it's a jig. And it's a very flexible jig in terms of rounded, straight, and then to be able to put these pegs into the holes for unique shapes, because I can't tell you how many times I used to do bonsai and wiring things. It's with copper wire, so it's relatively pliable, but anytime you try and get a certain bend or a nice crisp edge, easier said than done. So I thought, oh, this is a cool little thing. And then I thought, well, I'm not going to mount it to my bench. And given what it is, and it comes with mounting screws, and each end of it needs to be mounted, I thought, let me do something like I've done before. So I grabbed my last piece of, I think this is about 1/2 inch oak. I'm an oak fan. 3/4 inch. A little thicker. I'd actually prefer something thinner, so I was looking around the bench, or the garage rather, to see if I had something like this. In fact, I'll keep looking because I need about this size, not this thickness, but this size, because what I want to do is have, I'm being right-handed, I will only ever mount this in this hole, but this, considering what it offers on either end in terms of a triangle bend, a crisp edge, or a circular bend, I may want to flip this around. And being able to mount it on a piece of wood and then flipping the wood around means I'm going to have 2 holes. So I'll have a hole at each end, and I'll mount this so that I can then attach it to my bench that's hidden under here for the T-track. And that would lock it down for when I use it. So I'll look for another piece of wood, a thinner piece of wood along these lines, and I probably won't walk through every aspect of what I'm doing here. I'll sand this down, drill a couple holes, and put a finish on here so it at least protects the wood. And then I definitely need to get a few more of these, I don't know what they're called, tops, and obviously some bolts and washers from the local hardware store when I go out to venture out for essentials. So that's it for now, and more to come. Score, found a old piece of wood I'm going to repurpose. I don't remember what this was for. Okay, finished product. And this is probably my favorite type of wire to bend. The always useful, and this is the quality of my bends, the always useful hanger. So this will be interesting to try and do. Let's see, maybe we'll. So my bench is big enough where. Let's see if I can get a. I may try and do a. Oh, that's kind of cool. So that there's my first bend. Play with some of the pegs. Let's see. Maybe I wanted to do something like this. Something like this. Tighten that down a little more. This is the perfect example of why you would want this to be locked down. I don't know if I'm selling this or failing to sell it. It's still interesting as all can be. I'm just hitting all kind of shit on the bench. You can hear it. The wire is just hella long. So you can hear it hitting everything. And now it's hitting the floor. I think you guys get the idea. Again, the cool factor is just off the map as far as I'm concerned. Maybe a version 2 of this would be to lock it down at 2 points on the bench, which is not a big deal. I was thinking 1 would be enough, but obviously 2 points of contact would make it completely immobile to do any type of serious bends. But obviously you get the idea. I wouldn't be able to do this with this, I guess, level of ease. Freehand, I would need pliers, and then you've got plier marks all over your wire. But I just thought it was a nifty tool to add to the bench. I would not say this was reloading focused, more along the lines of just miscellaneous tool, cool to have on the bench. But yeah, I think having two lockdown points, which is very easy with how I've set up my track, my T-slot, my track, that would not be a problem at all. And it's just getting some more of these, and that takes care of that. Might as well make sure I can. So yeah, being able to tie both sides down would not be a problem, and that works. So I'm going to call that a success, and it's just about as tight as it can be. Done deal. Always more, something else. Let's see what the next task is.